All right, Tim DeJong, you are on Driven to Ride. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Appreciate it.
Ah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into you and your story and everything. I don't want to spoil the surprise, though. So, to kick things off, tell me what do people most know you for? What would you say, in your own words, is kind of your claim to fame in the motorcycle world?
They might know me from Donkey Sunrise, our company in our guest house slash tour company here in Colombia. So people that have been traveling over the Pan American from north to south or south to north might know me from that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I love the name, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But first, I want to dig into how you got into motorcycling. What made you catch the motorcycle bug?
Well, in the Netherlands, you can start riding when you're 16 on a motorcycle, well, moped, as we call it in the States.
Right.
50cc little motorcycles, those little Honda SS50, an old motorcycle, well, moped. Um, did that for a couple of years. Then after that, you can get your car license when you're like 18, and basically it faded away. People around me, it's like my family said, like, "Well, motorcycling, you're gonna kill yourself and all that stuff." So I like postponed it for a long time. I hadn't thought about it. Then I was traveling, backpacking in Southeast Asia. I rented a couple of times, like these 125 cc's little mopeds, scooters, and all these kind of things. And I really felt the freedom. I was like, wow, this is the best way to travel, actually. But well, then you fall back into normal life again. And at one point, I traveled a couple of times to Colombia, and a friend of mine said, like, hey, why should we not like ride with motorcycles through Colombia for a couple of weeks? Well, I was like, I don't have a license because I drove like around the world, but like didn't need really license for these scooters and little
Right.
bikes. And yeah, it's like this was in my 30s, just begin 30s, and got myself a license. 2 weeks later, I was on the dirt in Colombia riding for a couple of weeks, and oh man, I was so addicted. I was like totally hooked. I was like, I'm going to do something with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really have. So it sounds like it's interesting because we've had a couple of folks from the Netherlands on the show before, and it seems like there's a healthy like motorcycle culture in the Netherlands. I've got to imagine maybe that's because everybody bicycles a lot too, and maybe because you can ride when you're 16 before you can drive a car.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing because in the Netherlands, really cultural thing is as a kid, you quickly want to get independent. Your parents want you to get independent, go to school on your own. When you're like
Okay,
12 or 10 years old, you bicycle to school, with
sure.
your buddies. And it can be from a half an hour to an hour and a half bicycle ride to get to school. So
Oh
that's
wow.
quite a common thing if you not live in the cities. And yeah, so when you're 16, you do want to have that moped or you do want to have that scooter or whatever to get you from A to B way faster. So I think that's where it starts. And when you live in the farmland in the Netherlands, there's a lot of dirt bike ride, cross motocross. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
TT is TT is a big thing in the Netherlands. Especially was. I'm not so sure. I'm not really up to date with that anymore, but it always was. So I think that's where it all started. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's why
no,
people are getting into these things.
it makes perfect sense. And so it sounds like, I mean, aside from like mopeds and stuff when you were young, you really didn't do a whole lot of like street riding. It's mainly been ADV and off road stuff.
For me, well, yeah, like in Southeast Asia, when you ride around, like you take normal roads and you take dirt roads, and but since I was here in Colombia, it's like the dirt attracted me the most. I do like twisties and all that stuff, but in Colombia, when you want to, for me, riding is a couple of things, right? It's like the thrill of riding, of course, the adrenaline, or like the head is clear, you're just focusing on the road. For me, Donkey Sunrise also in the name. It's a part of that. I like to ride early, so sunrise, and especially when you go off road, like all the animals, everything starts to wake up, and that's for me like. You come into these like small towns where people sit with sombreros, just having a coffee, little chit chat. Yeah, these are like the cherries on my rides. It's like it's of course not the destination, but like these places that you arrive to when you're on the dirt. It's like more authentic than when you're on the highway because these places are more developed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like you've kind of been a world traveler most of your life, Southeast Asia. And how did you end up in South America? What brought you down there?
No, you're right. Like I did a lot in Southeast Asia. Went back and forth, back for like a year and a half ish, like in Southeast Asia, a little bit Australia, and of course Europe. But it's difficult away. But like I really always was drawn to these tropical countries, and Asia also because of the food. It's amazing, cultural. Like as I was a kid, I always liked like warm weather. I'm not so much of a winter kind of guy. I do like snowboarding and these things, but
Hmm.
a couple of weeks and then you sit inside a house dark, and that was never for me. Then
Yeah,
I came to South America, and when I was in my 20s, like you hear everybody like, yeah, well, South America more complicated for traveling and more dangerous. But then I arrived here first time in Colombia, and as I traveled already quite a lot, but I was straight away I fell in love with it. Like the people, the tranquilousness, the relaxedness, but still having similar values and stuff because it's a Christian-based country. So
sure.
it felt really like home. People were super friendly, and the nature here is like stunning. It has like almost everything from deserts to deep jungles to microclimates all over the place, high mountains with snow. So yeah, like, I don't know. This is for me like heaven if you like traveling and you like to explore and also find the unknown. Like what's behind that mountain? Oh, nobody have been there. There's
Yeah,
nothing written about it. Anything. It's like just go. Take the left here. Take the right here. Yeah, that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
it
You just
made me
see
fell
for
in love with it.
yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, how did you end up like deciding to start like a moto adventure kind of company and start this kind of pit stop, as it were, and guest house along the Pan American Highway? Then how did you go from, okay, Colombia is awesome, I'm enjoying it, to like, now I want to live here and start a business here?
Yeah, it was a little bit like a loose. I had an idea. First, I started off with someone else, another person, and we wanted to do like a Spanish school, immersion school, and I gonna like rent out motorcycles, do tours and these kind of things near Medellin. But when I start buying a motorcycle and start traveling for a year around Colombia, take as many routes as I could. Like it developed a little bit different. I noticed like as a traveler, there was not like a motorcycle dedicated destination. So you come into hostels, you meet like, and I was already in my 30s at that time,
Okay.
and you come into the hostels and there's the 20s crowd. Nothing bad to
Right.
say.
Yeah.
I also like that, but nothing. These people have different kind of experience than when you're on a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
And then I started noticing like a lot of people came through Colombia that actually like traveled the Pan American Highway or like they worked their way south or north. So I thought like, well, let's do like something with like tours or little rides in the area, and having that kind of experience get you deeper into Colombia. And then I noticed like there was a couple of other people focusing towards overlanders in general, so also like the cars.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, the trucks and van people, van life, culture. So when we started Donkey, it was like, okay, that sounds cool. So we got more and more of these people, and the more popular that was getting, I noticed like a couple of years later, though, because we had a whole pandemic, we were dead silence. Um, but so 2 years of almost nobody basically, and
Right.
then we
Yeah.
started like 2 years ago. We really noticed like, okay, we want to focus just on motorcyclists because we had a lot of fans and a lot of like pickup trucks and these things, but the space was limited for us. Plus the motor people, there could also be in a truck, but for us was like that binding the motorcyclist and everybody can, they have the same glue, the same motorcycle
Yeah.
glue. So that's like the main topic. If you're like a super nerd about motorcycle details, or if it's just a ride, you want to share something with other people, go to places. It was really easy to get like a good vibe like that. So
Yeah.
we really focused on that, like being a guest house for motorcycle travelers, and afterwards picked up the tours again.
Okay. Cool. Um,
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was gonna say, so, you traveled, you said you did a lot of traveling around the world. You traveled around Colombia for a year on a motorcycle, and
Yeah.
then, started opening up the guest house and doing the tours. Do you have, like, a background in, like, hospitality management or like anything like that? Like what is your kind of professional background, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so like for my mother's family, there was all restaurants. Everybody had like almost was doing something in the restaurant business, or had or
Okay.
managed or had their own restaurants. I always worked as like a part-time job, like in restaurants, and was like a little while like DJing and everything in hospitality. I always
Sure.
liked
Yeah.
to entertain people and helping people and be service. I think I'm quite service. I'd call it focused.
Yeah.
After that, I started doing something different. Well, more sales orientated, marketing orientated things in more big commercial world,
Hmm.
um, business to business. But that was like kind of drawn to me because the thing is, what I thought like, okay, everybody likes to go to a bar, like, but not so much for maybe drinking. Some for the drinking part, some for just meeting people. So what we
Sure.
wanted to create is like a place that you don't need specifically drink, but you can meet these people that you want to meet. And it's not like the beer is not the main subject. We have it, and we have special beers and whatnot in the fridge, but um, you just want that place to meet people. And it's now my home. So like I don't need to go to a bar because these people come to Donkey. It's like, and I can enjoy these like-minded people every day, and they meet each other, and they're happy, and I'm happy. So for me, it's like a win-win kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's better when people come to you. You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, true that. Plus, like, there's like so tons of interesting people coming along. It's like everybody has their stories that come from, the young cats from in the begin 20s. Just like they kind of don't know what they're doing, and they just want to go and they do crazy stuff. And then we like our age group. I would say the majority with us is like 30 to 70. That's like the biggest group that we have, especially like this year. Because people are pensioned or people have a gap year in their work,
Mm.
and they want to do something different, traveling the world or see a part of South America or these kind of things. Um, but yeah, like they all go really well together because they all have that same passion as to ride a motorcycle, being adventurous, check out culture or try more dirt or I don't know, go the highest
Yeah.
peak or whatever that may be.
Yeah, it's like, the common thread is motorcycles, so it doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 70, you have that, like you said, that kinda
No.
that glue, that motorcycles that kinda glue everybody together, and, I mean, I'm just looking at pictures online, like, you guys have a beautiful space, you're out kind of in nature for sure, it's a very outdoorsy feeling place.
Oh, absolutely. Everything is outside in countries like this. I would say when you're in the right climate, because when you're high in the mountains, it can get cold.
Sure.
Cold for us. Yeah. Keep in mind, there's a different kind of cold, right?
Right, right. Not Midwestern,
um,
US cold, yeah, it's different.
yeah, that's different. You can get like really frozen. Like here, that's quite hard. You need to
Right.
really do your best to get there. So yeah, like I have to say, a lot of friendships that get like how to call it, get started at our place, and that can be people like in their 20s with people like in their 60s or whatever, just because they had the same thing or they worked together on their motorcycles, like fixing stuff or planning routes together or going to places that are a little bit more complicated to do by yourself. Going into Venezuela, for example, it's like a country with problems, and people feel want to do it, but they feel like, oh, maybe it's not good to do it on your own. And then
Sure.
these friendships get created, and they go off together.
That's cool. That's super cool. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a place for meeting friends. Because I have to imagine, I mean, you have people coming probably up or down the Pan American Highway doing maybe their own trip or whatever, like you mentioned. But it sounds like you're also kind of a destination where people come to explore, Colombia and South America as a destination.
Yeah, absolutely. More and more we do that because also we're focused on that. We have a lot of long-term stayers now, people that stay actually longer at Donkey. You have people that come
Okay.
for a day and they stay for a week. We also have people that come for a week and they stay for a couple of months.
Oh
They
wow.
rent a place, they stay with their motorcycle or they buy a motorcycle in Colombia and they start like traveling around to use Donkey as like a home base. They go
Oh
around, they come
sure. Yeah.
back, and that kind of thing. A lot of pensions. Like actually yesterday, a nice couple left, and they said like, "Well, I want to buy a motorcycle here in Colombia. Can we store it then here?" So yes, we also have like a storage place for people that buy a motorcycle in Colombia, leave it here. They fly in and out. They come back because they're pensioned, and it's a couple of hour flight from the states, and it's nice weather here instead of like freezing in the Midwest somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like a winter getaway, and when it's too cold to
Yeah.
here, yeah, you can go down there and bomb around for a little while.
Well, that's the thing. So you can like riding is a thing, but I noticed with a lot of riders they also want to meet people, right? Like in the States, for example, you have a lot of meetups. Like you have
Yeah.
like Horizons Unlimited meetups, like the Moscow Moto guys do a nice couple of nice meetups. So for like-minded people to come together. And that's what we kind of do in Colombia as well, get people together. If like they fly in from all over the world to do a tour with us or to be with certain meetings that we do, or just have a feel sit down and chat with people, and maybe have a couple of rides because it's also a vacation destination, right? Colombia. So you can, go to the beaches, you can go hike in the mountains, or there's a lot of cool stuff you can do here.
Yeah, it sounds like Colombia is kind of almost like a hidden gem. Like people don't realize how much you can do there. I mean,
Yeah,
motorcycling included.
it is a stigma that still hangs on Colombia. It's like actually every Latin American country has like a bad rep, right? With
Mm.
human trafficking, drug trafficking, bad politics for like many, many years, right? Like dictators here and there. And it's really difficult, especially for Colombia, to brush that off, to get rid of it. We had a couple, like actually yesterday, wanted to come here, and then they said, like, well, we read in the news there was something happening or there and there in a big city. And, stuff happens everywhere. If you look up what happened in Chicago last week or in LA, last week, of if there's something, it happens all over the world. The thing is just a magnifying glass is on Colombia and on Mexico of what is bad about it, not what is good
Mm-hmm.
about it. Of course, there's certain areas where you better not go, right? Like in a lot of countries. So be aware of these things. But that's also where we are for, like we're helping you out with not getting into troubles. But no, like the thing is, what mostly happens, people fall in love with the country. That's the biggest danger. So people say, "Oh, I'm going to pension here. I want to buy a piece of land here. I'm going to come more often."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They realize how good it is, and then they decide to keep coming back or settle
And
down there.
in a way, it's also good, for us because it stays kind of like a hidden gem. You don't
Mm.
get the big mass tourism what you get when you
Right.
go to Thailand or you go to Vietnam or like these countries. And not like they're great countries. I love them for traveling. But in Colombia, it's really easy to get off the beaten path and be really like in a town that they look at you like you're not from here, aren't you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like well, actually, let me change a little bit. Like, I got to ask, how did you come up with the name? I want to ask before I forget because it's an awesome name, but it seems like two words that almost don't go together. So,
Yeah, so with I do like marketing a little bit. Understand it's like I found it the best, one of the best thing like is invented by the Americans, and also one of the worst things because everybody falls for things. Also, you might not should fall for.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
well, it's like me and my buddy Jorge. We started the whole donkey, so it's a Colombian American.
Hmm.
We started this donkey sunrise. Well, due to the pandemic, we just opened for a couple of months, and he said like, "Well, it was not for me." But we started this name. So like he said like, "I wanted something funny," and I said like, "I would like something, what I really love about this country." And like for me, that the sunrise is like the best time of the day. It's like so
Hmm.
beautiful. The birds fly up, the clouds are going up in the mountains. It's just serene, like. And he's even more funny. No, like I'm not gonna say I'm super funny, but he's a fun guy. So we had a couple of bottles of red wine. Like we changed our recipe from beer to wine. And after a
Sure.
couple of bottles of red wine, we were like actually went out here in the town and we said like, like you choose a word, I choose a word, and we glue them together, and whatever it may be, and if it sounds good, we take it. And that's basically how it came along. It was a sunrise donkey. He first had a monkey, then a donkey, and donkey sunrise. It's one of these things that you get the question always, so people remember it better. It doesn't sound boring,
Yeah,
and it
for
doesn't
sure.
sound like any of the other places here. You have so many Colombian experience, Colombian this, Colombian that, and that's great. But for us, we are not that serious. Of course, we're serious what we're doing, but we want to keep our place a fun place, and our name is kind of referring to that too.
Yeah.
Don't
No, I
take
mean,
yourself too serious and have a great time.
yeah, I mean, I'm all about having fun. So, and
Yeah.
speaking of fun with riding and everything, you've got tours like single day tours and multi day tours that you offer. Um, Tell me a little bit about those if you can, and how do you come up with the routes and everything?
Well, the ride's not so difficult because I was trying to ride many times a week. And if it's
Okay.
like enduro kind of riding here in the mountains or dirt riding, or if it's like beautiful pavement, searching for the best pavement, I've been riding a lot. And also with our guests, we've been riding a lot. So, you write down what you like the most. And we have a banana system, 1 to 5 bananas. One banana is like a nice asphalt, beautiful straight lines. And 5 bananas is going straight up and doing dumb stuff, so you need to be aware. So we make them. So that kind of ride will be like a 2 or 3 bananas. It has like this and that in it because like a certain amount of dirt, certain amount of asphalt, beautiful curvy roads. Um, yeah, you just glue like little rides together and make it like the best ride for me. And then referring to where these people are coming from. So, if you come from the Netherlands, you maybe have a different what you like than when you come from Utah, United States. Like you
Right.
already seen a lot of deserts, and maybe you don't want to ride in the desert in Colombia. You're maybe not that impressed. You want to see green jungle. So it's been a lot of custom making. We have a couple of tours we do together with a couple other organizations because they're like specialized in really hardcore stuff.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
love to do that too, but they take the main, how to call it, main responsibility, and also they live in that part of the country. So yeah, that's what they do, and we do like specialized in actually what Western people would like. For us, it's also important that you emerge like with the culture here in Colombia, that you
Hmm.
see what the Colombia is about, besides of only seeing the dirt and like asphalt. But if that's what you want, also fine. Huh? But I was trying to get you into like, okay, how's to sit in a little bar here, or having bread on the side of the road with these guys here, and having your
Yeah.
coffee over there with the guy with the horse.
Yeah. Really get into the
So,
culture, which is way easier to do on a motorcycle than in
oh
a
yeah,
car. So
it's the best way, or a bicycle, but that takes forever. So you really need to like you need to like it. If you go uphill, you're not going to see that much in a short time.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. One of the things. Yeah, I was really surprised kind of to see the elevation changes because, like, where I'm from in outside Chicago is it is pretty flat. There's not a lot of elevation changes, and
Right.
that would be super cool to be able to like go up and down the mountains and stuff. And but I've not done a lot of off road riding. I did when I was like younger. And I guess you guys offer like lessons too to teach people how to ride off road because it is so different, right?
We do. We do. We have like also Ron with us, and we have another Felipe. Ron is like, especially for beginners, really good. He did a lot of trail lessons in the States. He's a pensioned. He's now with us. He's also a mechanic at Donkey, and he
Okay.
does it as a free what do you call it? Free thing. He's just pensioned. He just loved to be in the community. He left
Yeah.
everything in the States, sold everything. He's
Oh
living
wow.
now with
Okay.
us and helping people
Yeah.
with their motorcycles. But he's also helping us with like these lessons because he's a really well step by step to really start focusing where you need to put your attention on. So we do these
Hmm.
kind of trainings for people that have no experience to up to like, want to just get better because you can ride it, but you've never been focusing on what you're doing. Because
Yeah.
everybody can give gas on a dirt road, and maybe in the corner that you brake so hard, you don't know how to actually corner it. Like these kind of things we teach. Yeah. So that's a course that we do, and we did a couple of times this year. It was a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
actually you can see that people trying to take the next step. So they're actually more willing to or on their own explore, or actually do a more advanced tour. That
Hmm.
they're not like afraid to start like something that includes some rocks here and there, includes some mud here and there. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have people that come in that have like never ridden like ADV or off road before?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, a
Really?
lot. Yeah, a lot. Like actually with tours as well. If I do my tours, especially one-on-one or one-on-two tours, like small tours, private kind of tours,
Hmm.
and I teach them as well. It's like I'm not like a high skilled teacher, but of course I have my knowledge of all the experiences that I have, and
Right.
I did a
Yeah.
lot of trainings with other people. So I'm always observing the rider. I come behind them and I observe and see what you can do better. So you just improve your confidence, right? And not improve your confidence to do stupid stuff, but improve your confidence to become just a better rider. So
Sure.
you can just tackle more terrains, and then you're actually really enjoying it, but being tensioned up in your shoulders and get arm pump and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The death grip kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the death grip, and it's like for us, everything is about like having a great time. So at our place. So egos aside, like, we don't want to deal with egos. Like, that's your own thing. Solve it for yourself. The thing is about like having a good time. We can blame everything. Is the tires are not good enough, the motorcycle's not good enough, everything. We don't care. It's like ride the bike and just get better. And just everybody needs their own progression, as has their own time for that. Needs their own time for that. But I have to say, it's mainly been successful. Cool
Hmm.
story. We had she is in her 50s with her husband traveling on a GS from the north to the south, from Canada south. They were an English
Oh wow.
couple.
Yeah.
They came, and the husband said, I don't want to drive two up anymore. I want her to ride her own motorcycle. She had no license. She had
Yeah.
like no experience. And she's like, I don't think I can do this. We put her on our little scooter that we have, our company scooter. And I said, like, we're going to have a little ride in the park. And we did. And I said, like, well, you can ride. It's not that you're going to do pop wheelies on the corner, but you can ride.
Yeah.
She read all the way. She trained by Ron for a couple of weeks. We bought her we got her a license. We got
Hmm.
her the moped, like a scooter, 125cc. She went all the way south to Chile with her husband, following the
Whoa.
GS, and flew the motorcycles both now to New Zealand, and now they're doing New Zealand. So this
Wow.
is for everybody. Says like, I think I cannot do it, and it's like, oh yeah, everybody can do this.
No, you totally can do it. Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I have, so I lived in Boise, Idaho for a little while, and I mainly ride on the street, but I had some friends that did some dirt biking and off road riding, and I rolled with them on one trip or whatever that was it seemed a little difficult to me. There were rocks and elevation and all that kind of stuff, and I was struggling with it, and it took about 3 hours. And God bless them, they were patient, and they were like, because I was like, how long does this usually take you guys if I weren't holding you guys up? And they said, oh, about 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, like I need to learn how to get better at off road riding. So it's cool that you kind of have that opportunity for people who maybe have not had a lot of off road experience.
No, because that's what we want. It's like you don't need to off road. For me, my
Hmm.
opinion, there can also beautiful twisties here on nice rocky roads and do like dirt road. For me, it's like off road is more than just a dirt road. So you go
Sure.
up, down rocks, and there's more complications there. I just want like to see if you have it in you to get more if it's there. Is there
Sure.
something holding you back? Is it holding you back? Oh, my buddies are too good, I'm not gonna join because I think I'm not good enough, or
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
holding them back, because then you're basically losing a cool experience, but you might could have to put your mindset's something different, right?
Sure. Yeah. I
Because like
mean,
yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think are some of the biggest differences between kind of the on road riding versus the off road riding?
Well, you're right. Normally, in a slower pace when you go off-road riding, and especially when it's a little bit more, challenging terrain. For me, the thing is like, because if you're doing slower stuff, or you're doing, it depends on that. If you do like a dirt road, or you're doing really off-road ride, like dirt riding is like, yeah, you come to beautiful scenery that you normally don't see where the highways are, right? The highways are built
Yeah.
in the most easiest part to build a highway. So
Right.
not the most beautiful parts always. Yes, you have mountain passes, they are beautiful, but a lot of trucks and like big traffic.
Yeah.
So for me, the big difference is that you're going to see quiet, serene. You're the one that's making noise with your exhaust, like and the birds, for example,
Hmm.
or small towns with where the horse is still one of the main transportation, or like these kind of things. You don't see them anymore when you're on a highway.
Yeah. Yeah. You're kind of like you said, it's a more authentic experience.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you cannot do that when you ride on road. That is beautiful towns that are just well connected. Just for me, it's like to get there, like maybe you need to go with a loop around it. Well, now we
Yeah.
can go through the mountains to get there, right? So you
Yeah.
get a different experiences. Because, but I would say both is nice. Like, but just I'm personally, because you got more advanced. Like I just do like a little bit of a challenge in there, and you come to that little town. It's like dead quiet, just a horse and a guy drinks coffee, sleeps under a sombrero, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like too that the just the mindset and the culture just is more like you said, like tranquilo. It's just more chill and like it probably really calms people down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, it's beautiful when you just stop your motorcycle and you have a drink there too. You take a little cafecito, or you take a glass of water or beer, whatever you like, and just sit down and just look around.
Hmm.
You have a little chat with your buddies that you were riding with about the ride, and then it's like, oh, beautiful sunshine. Wow, it's super green here. Look, a waterfall. Like, oh,
Yeah.
someone passes on a horse. Like, or a little kid on I don't know, with way too big shoes on. I don't know, all these kind of things.
Yeah, and like it sounds like almost because you've from what I've seen and read a little bit is that you've modeled kind of Donkey Sunrise after that, like the where it is a place where people can come and relax. Like there's like a pool and there's you can sleep outside or inside, or you have like communal like meals and stuff, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for me one of the really important things because I want people to connect. Like, even though there's a lot of lonely wolves in the motorcycle world, yeah, a lot of guys, and it's not a bad thing, right? But it's people that are on their own traveling and traveling for long times, and they do like that. But everybody loves to be connected. If you're a family or friends or whatever, not everybody wants to be alone the whole time. So you're good alone, but at our place you can connect, right? It's like I always try to see that guy over there has been quiet for the last 2 hours talking with this guy, and sometimes they have really communal interest and they just hit off and just kind of stop talking for days. So
Hmm.
that's like the best thing is with a meal, like in the morning and afternoon or in the evening, to get these people together.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, most of the people like joining. I would say like 95% of people is always joining that. It's also one meal, so it's no choice. So this is what we're eating. Everybody has the same, and it works, man. It's been great.
Yeah. Do
People
people kind of
appreciate
get
it.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, especially like if you're traveling alone or if you've been camping or kind of roughing it or whatever, to have like a literal like home cooked meal has to be a godsend for some folks and really change the trip.
You're saying the right thing. It's like that's the thing: home cooked meal and a home, like a family home where you come into, right? If it's me and my wife just there, or like there's already a group of people that are been totally immersed into what we're doing. The
Hmm.
the fence closed with a big iron fence. When you arrive, you're like, wow, a big fence, and then you open it, it's like a paradise full with fruit trees and palm trees and whatnot. A nice little pool. You close the fence and everything is safe also behind the fence, right? You can leave your
Hmm.
phone, your iPhone there, you walk off and it's still there when you come back, right? These kind of things, because we take that in highest value, that you just feel safe, you feel home, appreciated, not feeling outside, left outside. So yeah, that's a big focus. Also the food, we prepare everything from scratch, so it's not like cheap stuff. We is locally sourced or out of our garden.
Hmm.
Same with the coffee, we have the coffee from our own region, from farmers here in the mountains. So everything is as much focused. So sometimes we have people like, oh, but you're more expensive than the neighbor here with this hotel. Yeah, but the neighbor is doing everything easiest way. Like, we trying to
Yeah.
like give the neighbor better money for his product so we can make something
Hmm.
nice out of it, right? More Western standards in that sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah, so that's what we focus on.
I have to imagine you guys kind of have to use locally sourced stuff and like whatever you can find around you because you're not like in the middle of a city either. You're kind of out there.
Yeah, we're in a small town. Our town has like a couple of hundred inhabitants, but like 4 kilometers away, there's a bigger town, and it has a
Hmm.
couple of supermarkets. Well, Colombian supermarkets. But we'd like to deal, like, for example, fresh milk from the neighbors, and we make like a dulce de leche, it's called. Like, we make it ourselves. We don't buy it in a
Yeah.
package. We have jams. We're from our own bananas, make a really nice sweet banana jam from the bread. Our own bread we cook like the day before, or waffles, or any of these things. It's all made from, everything's made from scratch. No extra ingredients, just ingredients that you need to make a bread,
Yeah.
or what
Yeah.
you need to make like anything. Fruits out of the garden and from the farms here. We have one like vegetable and fruit place that gets like from this area that's really known for a lot of fruit production. And in the mountains, there's a lot of avocados and vegetables. So it's
Yeah.
all from nearby. And it's really cool because most of the people we also know, like the coffee guys and
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You've
it's
got your
really
people.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you straight away put back into local society.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we now, as we're talking like the last couple of days, we've been like for coffee tour. We're gonna organize with it like a little coffee farmer here in the mountains to give him
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
actual more money for his work.
Hmm.
And these things are like so much fun because you
Yeah.
see these people appreciate it, and we of course appreciate it. And as you come visiting, you want to see these more. natural things, not like these big companies that do like 60 or 100 people per day going through. No, we just
Right.
help this guy with a couple of people, and they're like super proud and happy that they can show their farm. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
You've kind of you've enmeshed yourself in the community and fit in where it makes sense rather than like, nope, I'm here and I'm gonna do everything my way. It's like it
Yeah,
really is
no,
an
no,
authentic
no.
experience, it sounds like.
No, but also that's not what I came to live here for, right? Because if I wanted to do everything the Dutch way, and of course certain things, well, you can never get out of me because I'm born as a Dutch guy, right?
Right, right, yeah.
But I came to love this country because of certain things that we were lacking in the Netherlands,
Mhm.
like really family oriented, family focused, how to call it, community focused. It's like working with people around you, being great. Like, don't say only hi to your neighbor, but actually have a conversation with the guy, and like, oh, and you help each other with this and that. So
Sure.
yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you get like reverse culture shock if and when you ever go back to the
Oh
Netherlands?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just for 2 months. I was in Europe. We did the APR festival. Great, like walking around and meet up with old donkey people
Yeah.
from England or from the UK. And then I'm in the Netherlands. Yeah, it's like I really feel when I'm there. It's like I have great friends there. I just I'm not a Dutch guy anymore. I'm not a Colombian. I'm now somewhere in between there, and I'm not sure where I feel more home here than I feel in the Netherlands. Like way more home because when I'm in the
Mhm.
Netherlands, I get homesick to Colombia, and that I don't
Okay.
have that the other way around. And I never
Interesting.
was really homesick, but I really
Mhm.
have that now because like I just like the culture, the climate, the people around me, the lifestyle, the tempo of the life. Yeah, I'm integrated, but of course I'm not a Colombian, because I'm not born and
Right.
raised here.
Right.
So
But
yeah,
I
I have
think being
reverse
able to
culture shock.
ride I think being able to ride all over the place multiple times a week probably gets to help with that too, I imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's like absolutely. We're next. We're in a valley, and we have two mountain ranges next to us. So like in 10 minutes, you're already. I'm not sure how you say that in feet, but here's like 1,000 meters you can go up in like 15 minutes.
Okay,
So and
wow.
the other
Yeah.
side you can go up to the snow in like 3 hours. So it's the
Jeez.
other
Yeah.
mountain range. So and you have all different climates in between. So different kind of vegetation, different kind of animals. Different kind of
Mhm.
natural wonders because also a mountain doesn't only go like this, but you get microclimates when you go a little bit down and up again, right?
Oh, sure.
So you have these little canyons with like the most weirdest animals living in there. Yeah, it's amazing. I just don't get bored here. And
Yeah,
that I
which
did
is
when I'm in the Netherlands. I'm looking around. It's like, yep, I've bicycled here everywhere. I know these cities, I know these towns. Everybody's in a rush, being busy with whatever they're doing. Yeah, there's nothing for me to explore there anymore.
fair. Aside from or I guess outside of, Colombia, have you been able to take any other, like, motorcycle, trips in other parts of the world?
Yeah, especially the US. I did a couple of months US. I did a big loop. I started Connecticut. Actually, also went through the Midwest. But I did that also because I really love music, and that's been
Mhm.
in a wide sense of music. But I did the US because of like the blues history, jazz, bluegrass, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I went through all these, well, towards Chicago and then down all the way to Mississippi, and then go through the Smoky Mountains back up to New York City.
Yeah.
And I tapped all these cool towns, and of course all the barbecues. I tried which one was the best and whatnot. So that
Yeah.
was an
Yeah.
interesting one. Of course, I did in Thailand. I drove a lot, and in Laos and well, last year Utah. Now I did England, but on for like a week or so, like just before the meetup this year. I was riding a couple of months ago in Portugal with
Mhm.
an ex-volunteer that's now working with us, Patty, and yeah, I just like to ride everywhere. It's also a cool thing. You make friends from all over the world, and they say you need to come over see our place. It's like cool. Let's do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, like, America is, there's a large variety of, like, climates and, tempos and places you can go. It's just real big. It takes a long time, as I'm sure you
Yeah.
discovered, to get from one place to another.
I would say if you're like in America, like, well, everybody has their type of riding, right? So it's like you don't need to take anything from me, but like I really like the west of the United States is
Yeah.
really beautiful. I still want to do the BDR from the south to the north, from California, go all the way up, to Oregon and Washington State, all the way up there.
Mhm.
You have everything. You go from deserts to beautiful, like the what is it, the red rock, the oh, I
Redwoods,
put
yeah.
it. redwoods and sequoia and all that, and it's beautiful, and it has all their own beauty. So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to leave the States for that. The only thing is like culturally, yes, as American, you probably will say culture is a little bit different, but it's not like when you're going from there to Colombia or to Europe or to
Right.
Asia, that big of a difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you have a lot of beautiful riding in the States,
Yeah.
absolutely, from
Um,
all levels.
yeah, yeah, we're pretty lucky. Like I said, it sometimes takes a little while to get there. So, because it is that's such a
When you
big
guys are
place.
used to go to a concert that's 6 hours away, that to me like it was a jaw dropping. It's like I saw Grateful Dead. We just went 6 hours in the car, and then we we went to a concert 2 hours, and we drove back 6 hours. Like,
Yeah, it's no big
wow,
deal.
that's for me going like to Spain, like all the way to Spain in a car. It's
Yeah,
like far.
yeah, yeah. It's a little wild. So, but um, bringing it back
Yeah.
to Donkey Sunrise in Colombia, do you have like a compliment or kind of like similar like the story that you shared about the woman who learned to ride? Like the maybe the best compliment or one of the best stories you have about somebody coming to stay with you?
Uh, well, I always say like I can write a book like in a couple of years. I'm not a writer, but someone maybe can write it for me. Because all the stories, I'm quite an open guy. I love to talk and listen. I'm really interested in people. So with that, that's just given by me because of my mom and dad, I think.
Sure.
So I learn a lot about people. But everybody has interesting stories. Even people that think they don't, they have in their own way interesting stories. So there's so much stuff going. People that are traveling for 9, 10, 20 years come through. And they just love the place, just fall in love, and they haven't had that feeling. For example, that's for me always like, yeah, like how do you call it? Uh, you get the how do you call that in English? Well, you feel thankful for the things that you do, so you feel
Oh, you're
appreciated.
grateful. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, grateful.
appreciated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So these are always nice things, like family members die when they're on the road, like people that start their adventures or did their first tour and get addicted to it. They go home, stop their jobs, and start working online and travel the world afterwards. Um, yeah, like a lot of things. Like we have a lot of volunteers coming working with us. They fall in love with the whole community. They never thought they fit anywhere really, and then they fell in love with this whole motorcycle because they notice it's not. You don't need to talk about a BMW or a KTM or a Harley or whatever. Like it's the just everybody likes to adventure, meet other
Hmm.
like-minded people. So people fall into this thing because like I myself, like I love motorcycles. It's my life, but I have a lot of other hobbies. As I said, I love music. I have a lot of interest in my life, and I do like to
Sure.
share that too. And I listen to other people's interests. So yeah, it's so wide. I cannot like pinpoint like one now. Yeah.
Well, let me
Uh,
ask you this: is there, I mean, aside from people riding motorcycles, is there like maybe a common thread among like all the people that come to stay with you? Maybe like something similar that they all kind of share.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're all adventurous in their own ways. Yeah? Like some people apologize because they don't ride off road or dirt roads, and it's not like, well, dude, like we have people in their 70s they're still traveling motorcycle.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you don't want
so
to break
wild.
a hip when you're in your 70s, right? So I get it. Don't go off road riding. If you
Right,
still
right.
enjoy the ride on asphalt, do so.
Yeah.
Chapeau. I'm really proud of these kind of customers that we have. They say like you are 50 and you're whining, and if I go to states with Netherlands, like whining about stuff like, Obi, I'm too old, and I see these guys coming along and they're like that age and they're like still kicking it hard. It's
Yeah,
like, oh
man.
yeah, we're gonna do this, but I feel a little bit like I don't feel as cool as you young kids can off-road. It's like, no, everybody has their adventure. You're here on the other side of the world, so you're kicking it.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
That's
for,
awesome, man.
that's for me really important. I was yesterday talking with Grant and Susan from Horizon Unlimited. So we're gonna do like also like a meetup at Donkey in November, I think. Yeah, November. And also the how you call it? Their age group is like mainly between like 35 and like 65 ish.
Hmm.
Well, even though like there's a big group like the younger guys are now traveling around the world. But I see that that bigger group is growing. These people that are now saying like, I'm not gonna just eat myself to death, sit on this chair watching Netflix all day. Now I'm gonna
Right.
get out there. It's like that's the thing I really appreciate. It's always what we're trying to push. Also, when I do like little talks somewhere, It's like you're not too old. You don't need a lot of money. You just need the guts and like the will to go. Because the thing is, like countries like this, you can spend all your money, or you can just like with a good budget, you can really have a great time, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if that's like doing a couple of months a year being here, or traveling around the world, or everybody can make it as complicated as they want or as easy as they want, because it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. No,
Just
I
check
love.
our profiles on Instagram and Facebook, and like we do little interviews sometimes with people, because they have all interesting stories. But it's possible. Just
Yeah.
sell your jet ski if you have it in the garage where you don't use, you know?
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think that's kind of the perfect note to end on. So, Tim, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. Yeah,
You're more than
share
welcome.
how people can connect with Donkey Sunrise. Check out pictures of the place, videos. Where can we connect with you?
Yeah, so of course, Instagram and Facebook, even though I'm not a big fan of doing it myself, so if someone else doing it, but like Donkey Sunrise on Facebook and on Instagram, our website, donkeysunrise.com. Follow, we have a newsletter in there if you're interested and you want to get like, how do you call it?
Updates.
Yeah, updates or the feel from like, can I do it? Oh, these we have people in their stories in there. That's the thing you can follow. Yeah, or just get in contact and ask me questions. And we always like we have a couple of people that work with us to help people to start their trips. So or to start a tour, or vacation, or whatever they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, which I imagine is probably the hardest first step is just to get started. So if you have people to help you do it, it
Yeah,
makes it that much easier.
that's the thing. Or go to a meetup, or just like, or just come to a place like ours. Don't even buy a motorcycle. Just come here, meet all the other people that already done it,
Yeah.
and then you get the, how do you call it? You get the power to do so. Or
Nice.
maybe say like, no, that's not for me. But that is a really small percentage. So
I was gonna say that has to be the exception, a very very rare exception. So,
very rare exception. Yeah.
well, Tim, thank you so much, and I can't wait to talk again.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Mark.
All right, see ya.
Cheers.